Bionicle Legends 11, The Final Battle. Written by Greg Farshidi. Recording by Infinite Inspiration 0. Epilogue. Tahu Nuva stood in the center of the great Colosseum of Metronui, listening to the cheers of over 1,000 Matoran, among them Tanma and the Matoran of Light. Beside him stood his teammates, and nearby were Takanuva and the surviving members of the Toamari. All of them could not help feeling a surge of pride in this moment. Even Kopaka was smiling. After so much struggle, so many battles won and lost, at last the quest was over. It had been dangerously close, but they had been successful. The Great Spirit was awake, the core of the universe had been cleansed of the Makuta, and balance had been restored to the universe. While none of them had seen the Mask of Life since their escape, they felt sure its countdown to destruction had stopped.
"Now this is what I'm talking about," said Liwa. "This is being a Toa hero." "I'm just glad we all survived,"
said Gali, glancing over at the Mari. Somehow, their team seemed so incomplete without the presence of Toa Matoro, who had given his life to save the universe.
"I never doubted it,"
said Liwa, smiling.
"As soon as we got there and saw those dark bat losers, I knew it would be as easy as taming a gecko bird." "Oh, really?"
said Kopaka.
"Funny, you didn't seem that confident when you were trying to figure out how to steer the Axelara."
"Yeah, how many stalactites did you crash into? 3? 4? laughed Bohatu.
"Quiet," said Gali. "Taragadume is about to speak."
The wise Turaga stood in his box high above and looked out over the assembled crowd of Toa and Matoran. For a moment, he was overcome with emotion and could not speak. Then at last, he found his voice.
"My friends, we are gathered here today for a great celebration," he began. "But we must do more than honor the heroes who stand before us. We must use this time to remember all those who have given their lives to bring us to this point. Toa Matoro, Toa Likan, and hundreds of other Toa whose names we may never know of fought and died to keep the Brotherhood of Makuta from victory. Without their efforts, none of us would be standing here today. Without their light, shadow would rule the land."
There was a long moment of silence. Then Dume spoke again.
"Over 1,000 years ago, the Makuta struck at the Great Spirit, casting him into a deep slumber and robbing us of his protection and guidance. For this crime, they have paid the ultimate penalty. Now, at last, we are free from them. Forever."
The cheers began again then, rocking the very structure of the Colosseum. Dume made no effort to quiet the crowd. He knew this was an outpouring of happiness that was long overdue. When the noise had finally subsided, he raised his staff of office and gestured toward the Toa Nuva.
"We have emerged from the darkness and into the light, and we have the 6 heroes who stand before us to thank on this great day."
His words were cut off by a fleeting shadow that passed over the twin moons, and an ice-cold breeze that cut through the Colosseum. Tahu glanced at Gali, confused and troubled. They had all felt something like this before, but never expected to feel it again.
"Look,"
said Kopaka, pointing up to the sky.
"The stars. Look what's happening to the stars."
High above, the stars of Metronui were darting across the sky, spinning wildly. It looked as if the universe itself was being undone and remade at the same time. Slowly, the stars began to realign, coming to rest in a pattern both bizarre and horribly familiar. From random stars in the skies, they had arranged themselves into a shape, and it was the shape of the Mask of Shadows.
"This is impossible," said Tahu. "Why would the stars shift to look like Makuta's mask? Unless—"
"No," said Onua. "No, it couldn't be."
"What does it mean? What can it mean?"
asked Gali.
"I think I can guess," Kopaka answered. Radiac said the Makuta wanted Motunui to be awakened, but we could not guess why. Now, great beings protect us if I am right about what has happened. The reply came from everywhere at once. A dark, humorless laugh boomed from every stone, every star, from the ground, the sky, the ocean. Matoran huddled together in fear at the sound, even as the Toa drew their weapons. "Makuta!" shouted Tahu. "We thought you were destroyed, but if we were mistaken, we are ready to correct that mistake. Show yourself!" The reply came in a rumble of thunder. "Show myself, you insignificant flea? Look around, Toa Tahu. I am everywhere. I am everything you see." "What new crime have you dared commit?" yelled Taragadume. "No crime, wise one," answered Makuta, his voice as soft as the breeze that heralds a storm. "Your heroes brought Motunui back from death, but before his spirit could return to his body, mine slipped in and took its place. And so when the Toa Nuva awakened Motunui, they awakened his body with my mind." "We have fought you before," said Kopaka, "and we will do so again." Makuta chuckled, sending a tremor through the Colosseum. "Will you fight the air you breathe, Toa? The ground you walk on? Understand, I no longer need to battle you in hopes of ruling the universe. I am the universe." "Of course, you do have one hope," continued the Master of Shadows, "Motunui himself. Too bad for you that I have banished his spirit into the mask of life. And now..." The ground shook violently as a surge of energy flowed through all existence. "Now I have banished the mask from this universe. I hope you have enjoyed your fleeting moments of happiness, Toa. They are the last you will know for an eternity to come." And somewhere, in the endless void between here and there, the mask of life flew. Free of the bounds of the Matoran universe, it had turned from silver back to gold once more. It carried within it the mind and spirit of Motunui, on a journey whose destination no one could know. But if anyone were able to hear the being within the mask, one statement would have been clear, ringing through the void like the tolling of a bell. "I will return." End of Epilogue. End of the book, The Final Battle.